Welcome to Sportsbook Reviews Games Too Risky to Bet. I'm Joe Duffy of OffshoreInsiders.com, and along with Troy West of TroyWins.com, we discuss one or two games that each one of us thinks is a little too risky for the gambler to bet on. Troy West of TroyWins.com, what game do you think is too risky to bet this week?
Yeah, Joe, last week I gave you guys the Thursday night game, which was the Carolina-Philly game, which I thought was too risky to bet. It did come down to the wire. Carolina had a last-second drive there that could have potentially won that, and they would have had to gone for two to get a push. So that one looked a little risky to bet. This week I'm going back to the Thursday night football game again. These Thursday night games, most people give them they discredit them because they've been such bad games, but the last three games have been really interesting. You've had New England-Tampa, you've had Carolina-Philly, and now this week you get an AFC West battle. Kansas City heads into Oakland, and boy, you got two teams right now coming off the loss. Kansas City, the tough home loss to Pittsburgh, which 19-13. Who would have thought that Kansas City would only get 13 points at home against a Pittsburgh team that gave up 30 a week before? And then you've got Oakland, who, Derek Carr played, didn't look himself. Will he look himself this week now on the short week? He looked banged up. They only get 16 points against a San Diego team. That had me scratching my head. So you have two teams coming in on the loss. You've got Kansas City -3. On paper, I think Kansas City is the much better football team, but boy, this is do or die for Oakland. I mean, if they lose this game, they really seem to fall out of the AFC West race. And a lot of people had Oakland penciled in for the Super Bowl. So you got Kansas City coming off the loss. It's a big game for them. Will they lose two in a row? And you got Oakland in do or die mode at home. It's a pass for me. Too risky to bet, Joe.
Troy, I should have listened to you. Look, it's been a great year for me and a great week last week, but I went with the Carolina Panthers. If I only listened to Troy, he had that game spot on. Should have avoided that game completely. My game, too risky to bet. I'm going to have to quote an idol of mine, and I'm sure somebody who Troy also idolizes, the legendary Peter Loshak. I'm going to go with the low-hanging fruit here, the Saints and the Packers. Of course, you may have heard Aaron Rodgers is out for the year for the Green Bay Packers, but the odds makers have clearly more than adjusted. The SBR odds have New Orleans up to a 5.5 or a 6-point favorite. They opened up as a little less. So the odds makers are more than aware that Aaron Rodgers is out. And then, of course, it is a huge drop-off down to Brett Hundley. So on the other hand, I would tend to maybe in situations like this bet on the Packers because, as I said, the odds makers tend to overadjust, and teams usually rally around adversity short term. There is certainly a point of diminishing return, but usually the first game without their superstar is a good time to bet a team because they are undervalued, and you would think that the Saints would have a natural letdown. But I think New Orleans shouldn't fall to the normal natural letdown that happens in a situation like this because all of a sudden they're playing good football. Are they truly for real? Is their defense for real? Their defense has shown some progress in the past 3 weeks, although a little bit less so last Sunday against Detroit. So I don't think that the Saints should have that normal emotional letdown that often comes when another team loses their superstar. And as I said, the odds makers have more than adjusted, though, for the fact that Aaron Rodgers is out for the year. So this game is too erratic. The Saints, they were blown out twice this year. Then they won 3 games in impressive fashion. So they are certainly a box of chocolates. So again, to quote my my idol Peter Loshak, the low-hanging fruit, this game is just really too hard to get a handle on. You don't know how much the Packers will, especially short-term. Forget about long-term, but short-term, can they rally around this? I say the Saints and the Packers are too risky to bet. Well, make sure you join me at OffshoreInsiders.com and Troy West at TroyWins.com, and we will be back here next week with Sportsbook Reviews, games too risky to bet.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.